that nobody don't miss out on this good stuff. Because man, when I saw you in the social media posts with Akon,
Mhm.
that's a piece that I've been speaking on for the longest about, us in the African American community being able to go back and not only invest in Africa, but also learn the true history of our people. Because if you look at the school system that we're in here in the U.S., it wasn't designed for us. It
No,
was designed for us, and not only was it not designed for us as African Americans or as the Black community, but it wasn't designed for anybody who really want to go out there and be their own man, their own woman. It was designed to put you in that factory, work for somebody else. So take us back, man, because both of us, Dr. Hobson and myself, we were athletes coming up. I played football, basketball, baseball, and ran track. I know Dr. Hobson did some track in college, and it can be difficult to make that transition from athletics into not being an athlete anymore. But then yours, like you said, you had your foot in one and in one community, and then in the sports community, and it really they pulled. What would you say, and what would be some wisdom that you would give for a young fella, young woman who may be out there in the streets doing their thing, and they kind of have that goal of going somewhere in athletics? Based off of your experience, what type of insight can you give us on making it down the right path?
yeah, it's sacrificing the right now for later. So we want everything right now, right? And even more now than even back when I was, in high school and college. So I did start a family early. I had my son when I was 16 years old. So I was a father. I was a kid having a kid. So I needed to make ends meet, but at the same time, I had this amazing talent of that God gave me to be an athlete. So I was hustling. I was doing what I needed to do to take care of my family, but at the same time, I had this dream of making it to the NFL. But it clashed, right? It clashed. So I made bad decisions, right? Not saying that I love my children, right? But I made a bad decision to have a child at a young age, and then I had to be able to support this child. So it pulled me away from what my dreams was. So what I can say, the wisdom that I can say to people that have one foot in the streets, but they have these goals and these dreams of being able to be successful. You're going to be able to have the fancy car. You're not going to be able to have all the things that you see people flashing on social media and movies and music videos and all those things. Those things right now, you need to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to sacrifice not having those things now to be able to put my nose down into the ground, learn a skill set, or go all in on some talent that I have, whether it's a professional athlete or you want to be a CEO or whatever you want to do in life. You got to grind and you got to put in the time and you got to put in the effort, and you're not going to be able to have all those things that you see other people having. And it's okay, because you'll be able to have them later and be in a situation to where you can be able to have those things and not be living check to check or living broke trying to impress people of, showing what you think people want to see, that you have, which is, there's no meaning to it. It's just material things. So for me, I would say, go all in on your vision of long term, put your head down, focus, grind, learn the skill sets that you need to learn, work out as hard as you can, work out when other people are partying, when other people are on social media and things of those natures, chilling and relaxing and having fun and games, grind, work. And so you can have all the things that you want to have in your life for your family and build a real legacy.
Yeah. So we know that, like Brian had mentioned, we we both have been athletes. I was an athlete my entire life.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we start, getting into athletics, and we got our mindset on this one thing. One great thing I feel that athletics always brings to the table is that hustle never leaves, right?
Mm-hmm.
So once it's there, it's there. And I had to learn how to get out of that competitive mode, and I'm still learning. But I realize there's some things that you can win and some things that you're going to lose at. And one thing that I feel like about us, one, as Black people, I feel like we are naturally resilient people. But then when you also have that athletic side, it's like now it's like, oh, I'm good with getting a step back because I can bounce back from it. And we have that little natural bounce back. When you talk about how you made that transition, And the reason why we talk about that transition from athletics to now you being an entrepreneur and coaching other people on how to be successful, at what point did you realize, okay, football ain't going to happen? Now I know that I have this other gift or this other fire to make other people great, you know, due to either your experiences or just something naturally inside of you.
Mm-hmm.
What happened during that wow moment? Like, you know what? I'm just gonna flip it and turn it to something else. How were you able to say, even though I've dreamed my whole life of becoming this one thing, and if you can explain too, was it your dream or your family's dream? Because sometimes it's the pressure of, you know, your other people like, hey, that boy bad on that field, he gonna make it to the NFL. That boy, you know, so you kind of start feeling that pressure of, you know, now it's something for you, but now it's something for your community, for your family. So how did you make that transition, and what moment, you know, what happened when you decided like, okay, that ain't gonna work, this is what I'm about to be doing?
Yeah, it happened when I went from workout to workout, because I wasn't a NFL draft pick. I didn't get drafted, so I was a free agent, going from workout to workout, traveling the country and seeing all of these hundreds of people, thousands of people, young black men mostly, trying to go into this one thing, trying to fit into this one thing, right? All this talent that we have, all these other things that we offer the world and humanity, but we're trying to fit into this one thing because society says, hey, if you're strong, if you're fast, if you're African American, then you need to be playing sports, right? So I'm like, all right, well, this is what I need to do, right? I need to be in the NFL. I need to, you know, utilize these strengths and these physical attributes to go to this one thing, but not knowing that I had attributes of a leader, attributes to motivate people, attributes to say, you know what, we're going in this direction, follow me, right? So those were natural traits that I had that I didn't identify as something that God put me on this earth to be able to help and inspire other people to do. So when my NFL career didn't work out because those tryouts didn't work out, it was saying, God was saying that, hey, you're not in alignment with what I put you here on this earth to do. So I'm not going to let this work for you, right? Because I was the fastest, I was the strongest, so there shouldn't be any reason why I didn't make it, right? Only reason why I didn't make it is because that wasn't alignment for what I was put here to do. I was put here on this earth to be able to motivate people to be able to be the best versions of themselves. I was put on this earth to be able to lead people and show people a different way to be able to get to their goals. I was put on this earth to be able to build a legacy for my family, for what success really looks like. And success is being able to have freedom of success, is being able to have the true identity of who you are inside and living your truth. That's real success. At the end of the day, money is just freedom. That's it.
Right.
Before, I was going to the NFL to get money, just to be relevant, right? And it's not what it is. That's what I was able to come to the realization of.
Wow. So what do you do when you get that client, or you get that person that comes to you that their situation didn't work out, or what? How do you get that fire in them? Because I had to learn the hard way through coaching, and also dealing like personal training at one point, and then going into my coaching and stuff like that, my life coaching and all that things that I do. I realized that everybody don't have it, right? Everybody don't have that natural fire. Like, so when you come to that person and you're like, hey, man, I see this gift that you have. I can help you, you know, make this certain amount of money or prosper in this certain area. And they just like, I don't see that for myself. I mean, how do you get that person to that next place without feeling like it's too overwhelming, or, you know, do people naturally gravitate towards you, or how do you feel when you get that person that just doesn't have that fire? They have the idea, because we all got great ideas, but they don't have that fire in them. What do you do when you come to that point?
Knowledge and being able to provide knowledge, right? Knowledge and reflection of what drives you, right? If you have to hit the alarm clock multiple times in the morning, you're not passionate about what you're doing in life. If you're waking up without an alarm clock, if you're waking up excited about your day, then that means that you're on track to your true passion. So we need to sit down and say, okay, what would make you excited to get up in the morning to where I didn't have to call you, or I didn't have to text you, or you didn't need an alarm clock to get up for, right? All right, what's that thing? Okay, can we monetize this thing? can we use this thing that you're passionate about to make a living off of? Now, we don't have to be a millionaire off of it, but can you make enough money to get by and be able to live your life through that passion, right? Because a lot of times people want to make I want to be a millionaire. But at the end of the day, do you really need to make $1 million to be successful, right? Can you make $100,000 a year and feel like you're successful and live the life that you want to live? And most of the time, the answer is yes, right? Yes, right? I can make this amount of money, live this passion, be happy about what I'm doing, and be able to get to that goal. So for me, I just say, okay, what are you passionate about? And now this passion, can we monetize it? Are you an expert at this passion? If not, hey, what steps do we need to take? What things do you need to study? What courses do you need to take? What mentorship do you need to get into to be able to be an expert at this passion so we can monetize it?
Yeah, that's good. Because like you said, people, when you have these ideas and you have these desires, and a lot of us, the pressure of being successful, and I'm glad you mentioned what success means. I tell people all the time, success looks different for everybody, so you got to find what success means to you. And when we talk about success and we talk about our youth and our Black youth and our young Black men, the pressure, right? When you see social media, if you don't have the baddest chick by your side, you don't have the nicest ride in the house and this and that, then you're considered of no value, right? Because the women are looking for the men that are balling, and the men are looking for ways to fit in, whether they're really successful, because you can have all these things. And we've seen, I was looking last week at a couple of athletes who made all this money, blew $80 million, gone, back living at home with no money, just, buying houses with 100 rooms. I'm like, you could have invested in a hotel and got money off of that, wasting it on buying a house. So the pressure of social media makes us think that we have to look, act, and have certain things to become successful. How do you separate yourself from what that, like staying in your lane? How do you separate what society says you should be doing, or what's considered successful, and what you feel is successful for you or people that you're working with? How do you separate the two?
Yeah, so I fell into that trap many times, because everything we see. So everything we see, the car, you got to have the house, you got to have the jewelry, you got to have and I'm talking about for our culture, unfortunately, you got to have all of these things, right? To be relevant, right? For someone to listen to you, right? But once I start getting in other rooms, meaning a different crowd of people and different mentors and different people that are successful, that you would never know how much money they have because they drive a Honda or a Toyota. They live in based off of the income they make, they live in a very humble house, and you would never know, right? So it's about being able to have stability and being able to have freedom of time, right? So for example, right, I went to Senegal, Africa, last month or a couple weeks ago. That's a $10,000, $15,000 trip, right? Most people can't make that trip. You might have the Benz, you might have the house, you might have the jewelry, but when I say, hey, let's go, we're about to go to Africa next week, you can't afford to go because you're putting all your money into things that don't matter. But when it's time to make power moves, when it's time to travel, when it's time to invest in something, you have no resources because you're putting it in things that don't move the needle, right? So, but I fell into that trap because the pressure of social media, the pressure of when you see things in movies and music and things like that, you have to have these things to be relevant. So I bought the cars that I couldn't afford. I've lived in houses that I couldn't afford. I'm not a jewelry guy, but I've bought in things that I had no business buying because I needed to be relevant from the show. But on the back end, and hey, if it was time to get up on an airplane and go somewhere, I wouldn't even be able to afford my ticket. So, but that was because of what we're programmed to see through, again, social media, music, movies. That's what we're programmed to be. You have to have these things to be relevant. But what I suggest and what I recommend to people is that you need to really have your goals set. Like behind me, I got 2020 will be won in the fourth quarter. Meaning these last 3 months, October, November, December, I don't care if you've lost the last 8 months of this year. I don't care if you're broke right now. I don't care if you haven't started that business. Or I don't care if you're winning right now. I don't care if you're up. If you don't focus these last 3 months of this year and really get dialed in on what you want to do, then you're going to lose or win this year, 2020. Don't pack it in. 2020 is not over. It's 3 months left to get the momentum that you need to get to that goal. But what I would say to every young African-American or any male out there or woman, focus on what your goals are, get in tune with what's your legacy that you want to leave, and don't worry about anything related to what you need to show and what you think people need to see for you to be relevant, because it's not true and it's not accurate.
And that's some real talk, man. And, you know, income tax season time.
Woo!
Income tax season time. Homeboy across the street got the 40 or 24-inch rim, got the job on the whip. But then you hear him on the phone trying to, can I get an extension on that on rent this month? Like the priorities are just jacked up in our community. And it's one of those things that I've seen, and thankfully me seeing it as a youth developed me to want to rectify some of those issues as an adult. But one thing that I continue to hear you mention in one way or another is the necessity of sacrifice. Understanding that you have to make sacrifices throughout life to ultimately get where it is you desire to get. Because, you know, the sacrifices as a 16-year-old, you can't go out and just do what you do when you got a little one. You got to make some sacrifices. And you trying to get into the league, you got to do certain things for your body. You got to do certain things when it comes to where you put time in, where, and you got to make the sacrifices. And so many of us, especially, like you continue to reiterate, in today's society, social media wants to give us that instant gratification. Let me post a pic and I'm keep on looking back how many likes I got. How many likes I got? How many people have commented? We're looking for that instant shot of dopamine, when if we can sit down, put our nose down, like you mentioned earlier, go to work. I remember when I was coming up, my dad was always like, you can have show muscles or you can have go muscles. You got show muscles, you ain't got no strength. You don't know what to do. It looks good, but you don't know what to do with it. But if you work out the right way, train yourself the right way, eat the right way, you're going to have those go muscles, and you don't have to worry about trying to impress everybody else. So with that being said, man, I know in our community, in the Black community, if you ain't got a 9 to 5, if you're not, you know, working something that's traditional, people looking at you sideways, like, what you doing? Like, that don't even make sense. Like, why you trying to get me involved with this, involved with that, supporting you in this, supporting you in that? How did you, getting into the entrepreneurial space, how was that transition for you as far as dealing with friends and family?
Woo, we're bringing it right now.
We're gonna have to do a whole nother show, huh? Like a part 2 called.
All right, so here's the thing. Here's the truth. And you know, I got family on my Facebook and things like that. And here's the people, and this is bad to say, but the people that know you the longest are the people that support you the less. And it's not, and there's no fault. I'm not giving no fault to any of the people that act this way, because I'm going to unleash the blinders behind why this happens. It happens because they've seen you in different stages of your life that might not have been the best stages of your life. They've seen you at your worst. They've seen you when you were going through changes and transitions to where you weren't as focused. You were moving from this thing to this thing, or, you know, you made some really bad decisions in your life, and they can't unlock those things that they've seen, right? But when you meet a stranger and you're at your prime and you're motivated and you've made decisions to go all in, that person that just met you only knows that version of you. So they're like, man, I want to get behind this guy. I want to get behind this girl. I'm going to support this person because this is what I see, right? Versus the people that have known us the longest, they've seen mistakes. They've seen things that we've had to transition out of. So they're not as motivated to get behind you when you said, hey, I got a great idea. Hey, I want to start this business. Hey, I want to go do this, right? So it's no fault to them. It's just the human nature of why sometimes we get supported by people that don't know us, right? That just met us. more than our friends and our family. So for me, I don't hold any grudges. I know the psychology of people. That was one of my things that I studied in college, the psychology of people, and I understand it. So for me, I would tell everybody that's not getting that support from their friends and family, hey, keep it moving, keep it pushing. And at the end of the day, once you make it and you're successful, don't hold no grudges towards your family, man. It's just the nature of people.
Yeah.
Now, you see, you just showed me the type of man that you are with that answer, because there's so many people out there that get into the entrepreneurial space and they'll make statements like, forget them. Like, they'll come back around whenever. But no, you can't be that way, because the way I typically train people, one of my mentors once said, your friends and family won't start to support you until strangers start to celebrate you.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, you can't fault your friends and family because they know you based off of who you were up until who you are today.
Mm-hmm.
If you judge a man based off of who he was, you judge a man prematurely. So you got to go out there and expand your network. Go meet some new people.
Mm-hmm.
And in the words of T.D. Jakes, you can't explain the vision of a giraffe to a turtle. Not to fault the turtle-minded people. They grew up in a certain place, and that's the furthest that they can see, if they can imagine. So you got to get yourself around some other go-getters who out there and are not chalking up 2020 as a loss. They'll write stuff on their whiteboard just like you got behind you. Man, you dropping them, man. You're dropping them.
Yeah, for sure. And one thing that I've always said, I said to find people or to meet people that believe in you, not what you do, right? Because I believe that as we grow and our visions change, it's not that you're indecisive, it's that your visions change. It's just like with the people you used to probably date, you probably wonder why you would date them because you don't like them now. And I feel like we're the same way with our mindset. And so I tell people all the time, and my circle is very small, because whether I call B or I may call Van and say, hey, you know what, this week I decided I'm gonna sell hot dogs. Y'all are thinking, well, we're going to make the best damn hot dog, out there. What kind of don't sell the regular hot dogs. Make sure that you have the one with the onions and the this and the that. And so I may want to do something else next week. So whatever it is, it's finding people that believe in you and not so much with what you have or what you're doing, because your vision may change. It may shift, when we talk about networking, one of the things that I feel has been challenging for me personally, and as I go into transitioning from being an educator in 15 years, I've been in teaching for 15 years and coaching and stuff. I don't do much coaching now, but just teaching. But for a very long time, I was that person we were talking about before. I hit that alarm, I probably I'd be smacking it like, please, I don't want to go to work. And it's not a good thing when you're an educator and you don't really enjoy it as much as you used to. Because now it's no longer education. It's more of a show. It's more of a, it's just kind of passing kids along or whatever we're doing. So we talk about networking. So when I moved from that space of, okay, I'm an educator, but I knew there was something more in me. I knew I wanted to speak. I knew I wanted to make money. I always have been an entrepreneur. My father's always been, showing me how to make money and businesses and investments and all that kind of stuff. So what I found was that networking was an issue. People always said, you got to go out and network. You got to go out and network. And so I found myself going to these pony shows, dressed to impress, got my business card, going to people, networking, giving my card, and they got a talent or a gift that I need and that I want, and they say I have something they need. And now the connection never happens, either because they're afraid that you're going to win before they win, or they're afraid that you're going to take from them. And I said, man, there's so much money and stuff out here. We don't have to take from each other. But we're so afraid to share an idea to somebody because we think they're going to run off with it. And so I always talk about building relationships versus trying to network, because I have a million people in my phone. But you really need those people in your corner that are serious about, well, hey, like with me, I know about athletics and sports and that side. And Brian, Mr. Street, he's into psychology and the whole mindset and what it brings to the table. So why not collaborate on psychology and black males in athletics? We can create something that's powerful based off the both the gifts that we have without feeling threatened from one another. And so as a Black woman, that can be very challenging, especially in the profession that I'm in. Because when I'm coming to Mr. Taylor with an idea and I'm saying, hey, I got this thing that I'm trying to build, I'm trying to buy this gym, or I'm trying to do, how a lot of times we're not focused on the right things. So then I found that a lot of men were more interested in talking to me than investing in my dream. But then a lot of Black women were more interested in, well, I don't want you to take the show, so I'm not going to give you enough to make sure that you're successful. But I don't want to come off being that way, so I'm going to give you just a little bit. How did you grow that network where you knew this person or this thing I can share with them, and they're going to make sure it's a safe place for me? Because when you're sharing your dreams with somebody, it's about being a safe place. When you come to somebody and you have a vision, you're not expecting them to take it. You're expecting them to find what gifts they have to pour into what you have. So how did you separate, the people you were going to roll with to make sure that your dream or your vision is becoming a reality, and the people that you were like, you know what, you can stay around, but you're really not going to be involved? How did you separate those two? What did you look for?
It's very challenging. And the best wisdom is experience, right? So yes, I've had people take ideas. Yes, I've had people get over on me. Yes, I've lost money dealing with people. Yes, but it's all part of life, and it's all part of growing and getting to that next level. But what I can say as far as networking, if you come to a situation to give value versus taking, then you're going to win every time. Because at the end of the day, if you talk to 10 people and you give value to 10 people, you're going to have 1 or 2 people that is going to recognize the value, and you guys are going to build something big with. The other 8 people, they might take the game and run with it, but it's okay, because at the end of the day, I can give you 100% of my plan, and I'm confident that you're never going to be able to do it as good as me. I can give you my whole plan, and I believe for me that it doesn't matter, because I know I'm going to be able to execute it better than you, because it's my plan at the end of the day. So when I network, or when I talk to people that might be in a similar industry, or that could possibly collaborate, and we talk about a situation, or we talk about a business idea, or we talk about something that we can do together, I'm coming to the table to give value. And if you manipulate that value, then that's on you. And at the end of the day, what you do probably won't even work out anyway. But the person that I do communicate the value to, that has equal value that they could bring to the table, and we decide, hey, we're going to make something happen, it's going to duplicate or try to take it, then let them do it. I know you guys know this just as well as I do. If you're successful, you're going to have people that are not going to be and have your best interest in mind. And they can be close to you, and they can be your associates. It could be friends. It could be people that you've done business with. At the end of the day, jealousy, hate, and envy is a real thing, and everyone has it. We all have jealousy, hate, and envy inside of us. But here's the big but. Some of us know how to suppress it more than others. And some of us take envy, right? I can envy you guys in a good way, meaning, man, I want to start a podcast. I envy you guys. Like, I want to have a podcast as well. But here's the next step, that it goes to a dangerous level of envy. If I say, why do you guys have to have a podcast? You guys don't deserve to have this podcast. I should have it. Now that's a dangerous level of envy, right? And now it goes to hate. Like, I hate these guys because they did something that I didn't do, right? That's dangerous, right? So we all have envy inside of us, but there's some people that take it to a dangerous level of envy, to where they want to take from you versus just, hey, man, that's nice. I want to have a podcast as well. Right? That's just like the base level of envy, right? So that those emotions are in everyone, but you have to identify who is going to be someone that you can kind of partner with, and that's only going to come by experience. Unfortunately, it's like there's no magic ball that you can have to be like, hey, this is the person, right? So that's kind of my experience with it. Hopefully that answers the question.
Yeah, definitely. And like you said, a lot of times you can bring that to those people, and you just have to be confident. You mentioned earlier about walking in purpose, and I truly believe when you are in alignment with your purpose and the plan that he has for you, he will align the right people in your life. I had so much, I didn't even know I was going to be doing any kind of speaking or podcast. That wasn't even close to anything I was trying to do. But as things started discovering, I started realizing, wow, someone wants me to speak on radio, and then the speaking turned into international speaking, and then it turned into all these other things. And I just realized I didn't have to work so hard, as hard for it as I did for the things that I probably shouldn't have been doing, that I felt I was constantly, my wheels was constantly going. And a lot of people are not there yet with that type of connection. But I can truly, I tell people all the time when they say, man, you've only been, in this journey for 5 years, and you've already wrote 2 books, spoke around the world, doing this, doing that, graduate with this. And it's like, you don't realize how much it is until somebody else starts going through your resume, and you're like, damn, I did a lot of stuff, but you're in alignment, so it doesn't feel like work because it's a part of who you are and your purpose. So when you talk about people growing, it's not because you're going to prosper from it. It's not because it's a part of, you may benefit from it financially one day down the road, but the fact that you're able to see somebody and say, I can help your dreams become a reality. And I'm passionate about you and your dream. You don't find too many people that are willing to put their time and energy into your vision or to your dream. So the fact that you do that is amazing. That you put yourself in a place of humbleness, because that's where your blessings is coming. As you continue to sow seeds into people and create a harvest, people are growing, and not only they're growing, but then your business is prospering as well, because you're making those connections and planting those seeds, and now you're being blessed. So I just want to thank you for just continuing to do that and taking your experiences of things not working out and your bitterness to be something productive, not only to yourself, but to your family and your community. So I just wanted to kind of give you that and let you know I do appreciate, what you're doing when it comes to that.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Something like I mentioned at the top of the hour, maybe it was before we even went live, your content jumped out to me when I saw you with Akon. Now, one thing that those of us who actually study wealth, one thing that we understand, or we should come to understand, is that wealth, one of the major ways in acquiring wealth, creating generational wealth, is through investing. Now, I know Akon is really big on investing. He's done so much since he started to spend more time over in Africa. Now, there's a lady by the name of Lisa Nichols, and she talks about the relationships with money. Now, becoming an entrepreneur, typically you've kind of gotten down the relationship of learning how to earn money. You got that down. The next task is, okay, I've earned it. Now, how am I going to actually save it? How am I going to hold on to it? That's that second relationship. And then that third relationship is growing it. Now, how long did it take you to navigate through that and get to where you understand the importance of actually investing your money so that it can work for you?
The phrase of, if your money's not working for you, then you're going to work till you die. And I transitioned into those phases. So I went from firing my boss, meaning now I was responsible for my income, but basically I just went to self-employed, right? So I went from having a boss, an employee, to being self-employed, right? So I transitioned now from being self-employed into having a business, meaning if I'm not in the business is still making money, right? So then you transition from, okay, you have a business, your business is making money. Now you put your money to work for you, and it has nothing to do with your specific business, but in other different assets, right? You're kind of expanding your portfolio. So I use that with cryptocurrencies. I use that with real estate. I use that with different investment opportunities, maybe investing in other people's businesses, that I believe in, that I can earn income from that as well. But I really learned that because when I turned into an entrepreneur and I became to be self-employed, I was making money. Yes, I wasn't getting paid from someone else. I had the freedom of saying, yes, I don't have a boss. But at the end of the day, the money wasn't going anywhere. It wasn't growing. I was just trading time for money, even though I was still in my business and I didn't have a boss, which is one step, away from being employed, which is great, but the money wasn't growing. So I had to learn how to invest money in different things that make money while you sleep. And there's a lot of different investments that people can do, but it's definitely important for you to be able to take your money and have it work for you. Because if not, then there's no way to build a legacy. There's no way to build, true wealth if you're just sitting on your money, holding it under a mattress or holding it in a very low interest rate savings account. It's very hard for your money to grow like that. So definitely for me, it took some transitions from once I fired my boss and to kind of get into different stages of being able to build up the money. But it's very important to be able to invest your money, because if not, you're going to be at a certain level and it's never going to grow.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Now, go ahead, Dr. Hobson.
Well, I was just going to just ask you, when you talk about saving your money and the patience of, because I think patience is an important part. And I'm still learning that, when you dump your last into something, you need that shit to work. You're like, this is all I got, my last $100, so I know it takes a lot of patience, and I'm learning that just keep planting the seed. You may not be able to plant an investment, monetarily with your money, but that doesn't mean that you can't continue to build your business without having the money, because it is an issue. People always think, there's certain people that are so successful and great businessmen, but they were given $1 million.
Exactly.
You be a damn fool, somebody give you $1 million and you don't flip it. Like, you crazy.
Exactly.
Like, what's wrong with you? So everybody's not starting with something. You're just starting with a vision. And so a lot of times, like you said, I've taken a lot of losses financially, just dumping money into things, knowing, hey, you think my dream is going to work? Yeah, I got you. Give me 5,000. Okay, boom. 5,000 gone, they gone.
Yeah.
And you're trying to figure out,
so
do I continue with this dream, or what do I do?
One of the things that okay, I'm gonna tell you about my first biggest investment. My first biggest investment had nothing to do with a stock or a crypto or a real estate. My first big investment was in myself. So I hired a mentor, right? And I'm gonna tell you this story. This is a crazy story, and this is why when people tell me they don't have the money or they don't want to invest in a coaching program and things like that, I don't really have sympathy for that. Because when I really wanted to go and build my online business and learn some new skill sets that I needed to do to level up my business when it came to the fitness industry, to be able to go online and take my business online, right? Because everything I did was in person and hand to hand and dealing with these gyms. But I needed to go online because I knew that it was going to make me successful, but I needed a mentor to do it. The mentor cost $20K. Okay. There was no payment plan. He wanted $20K, right? It was my last $20,000. My wife was 8.5 months pregnant. Big shout out to my wife, Natalia Taylor, right? She was 8.5 months pregnant. My rent was due. I had no baby stuff purchased. Okay. No crib yet, no car seat, nothing, right? And I said, to do this. And the reason why I have to do this, and on me, I'm betting on myself. I know I'm going to make this happen because I have to, because guess what? I have a baby about to be born.
Must be somebody's connection.
Here I am talking like crazy. Looks like we lost his connection for a sec. He should be rejoining us shortly. You're muted right now, Sherelle.
So yeah, as he was talking about mentorship, and we talk very highly about mentors and how it's important. And sometimes we have to put our pride aside and allow other people to help us. So it's a blessing to hear someone who is successful saying without them or without a mentorship, they weren't able to they don't believe they'll be able to be where they were, they're at right now. And so people have to learn to be able to put their pride aside and allow others to invest in you. And so we hope that he gets back in so that he can continue letting us know about his story. I don't know if he knows that he's off. So I'm going to go ahead and send a message to him, but you can go ahead and take over.
Yeah. And one thing that I wanted to mention is we got so many young people out here that kind of taking us back to earlier in the conversation, that all you want to do is impress and do it for the gram, do it for the gram, do it for the Snapchat, whatever it is. But you gotta really understand these relationships with money. All right,
Yeah.
let's see here. All right, we got him back.
That cat is
All right,
just
there he
taking
is.
over the show.
All right. You guys lost me, huh?
Yeah, it looks like he's your connection or something. But go ahead and finish. You were talking about your mentorship and how you got into your mentor.
All right. Am I back?
Yeah, I
Yep.
can hear you.
All
All right, cool. All right, sorry about that. So I had to invest in a mentor, right? My rent was due, okay? The mentor was 20K, only had 20K left in my bank account. My wife was 8.5 months pregnant. My rent was due. I had to go all in. I had to make a decision. So I bet on myself, right? I paid this mentorship, but in 3 months I made $67,000 off of that investment, okay, in myself. My wife didn't even know at the time. Big shout out to my wife, Natalia Taylor, for you know, being my support and my backbone and really, you know, helping me to this transition of entrepreneurship and really going all in to build our business together. But so when I'm offering my coaching services to people, or I'm showing people the roadmap and they tell me, yeah, I want to do this, but I got X, Y, and Z. If you really want to accomplish something in your life, you have to go all in. Like on my Instagram, go all in. And at the end of the day, you have to bet on yourself. You have to, I don't care if your family's not supporting you, your friends aren't supporting you, you don't have the network, you have to figure it out, because at the end of the day, whatever you want to accomplish, the universe is going to test you and say, do you really want to do this? You say you want to be this person, but do you really want to do it? And I'm going to test you along the way. So that was my test. Hey, do you really want to be an online coach? Do you really want to be able to build and touch more people throughout the world? Okay, cool. Here, this money that you have sitting over here, I want you to invest every single dollar into yourself and bet on yourself. And if you do that, I'm going to make sure that you're successful, because now you're telling me and you're showing me that you're all in on this and you really want to do this. So ever since then, I haven't looked back. You know, so sometimes the investment has to be in yourself.
And we just can't be so prideful of asking for help or getting people to invest in you. I remember this lady I was personal training, is not on what you're talking about, but I was personal training her, and she was always telling people how she was looking great and losing this weight, but she didn't want people to know she had a trainer, you know. And I was like, people are so prideful to tell other people that someone is investing in you. And we do the same thing with our dreams and our vision and our money and everything else. It's like, I don't want to tell that person my business. I don't want to give that person my money, because if I give him my $20,000, that's $20,000 more he gonna have. And so we just really kind of, you know, it really hurts us as a person. And if you don't want to put money into your own dream, you can't expect other people want to put money into your dream or your vision. It's just like, you know, we are our products, you know. And as we walk around and we're talking to people, people are looking inside your mouth. People are looking at what you wear. People are looking at, man, I don't know what Van is about to talk about, but he look like he in good shape. He look like whatever he does it seriously. And that kind of stuff is important when we talk about presentation and how you carry yourself in the investment, because you're investing in you and your business. And every time you walk, you know, outside your doors, you're your business. Whether you're selling hot dogs or you're selling real estate or you're selling whatever you're doing, you represent your business, you know, by how you carry yourself and the things that you're doing. We can't be afraid to invest in ourselves and present ourselves as success, because a lot of us downplay who we are because of the, you know, scared that we're going to be a threat to somebody, or somebody gonna think that we think we're all that, or, you know, so we kind of sometimes can downplay ourselves and not ask for that help, because they may think that, you know, oh, you should know that. Or so finding that person that we talked about earlier, that you can that's willing to invest in you, and that you're willing to invest as well, because it does cost money sometimes. But you do have to make sure when you are giving it your last, you know, we're not always sure about everything, but you got to make sure you do your research. Are the people that are mentoring you, are they successful? You know, I mean, I don't want to invest in anybody that I know is not successful, but if you can see it, and this person is saying you can do this, you know, usually if they look like success and you kind of know who the person is and that they have a reputation of being successful and they're consistent, you know, but we have high moments and we have low moments. But when your highs When your highs or your lows is still high, those are the people that I want to coach me. You know, what do I do when my business is not as successful this month, but it's still successful? It just hasn't flown, completely. But I have people in my circle that are continuously, investing in me, and that I trust them and what they're telling me, and I can also see them prosper. So I know that what they're telling me is working. So not being afraid to have a mentor. Even Oprah says she has 2 mentors. you know, I mean, everybody has a mentor. We can't be afraid to reach out to people and invest money in ourselves or in our dreams. So thank you for sharing that testimony with us.
Definitely. Yeah. The second you stop learning is the second that you start dying inside. So I have a mentor. I have a few mentors, and I'm in rooms that most of the people in the room are more successful than me. And that's the rooms I like to be in. I like to be in the rooms that force me to level up, right? Now I get in other rooms that I might be on paper more successful than these people because I want to be able to give value to them. But for me, I need to stay in a room of people that are more successful than me because I don't have it all figured out. And I'm trying to build a legacy for my family to where when I leave this earth, they have resources, they have guidelines, they have ethics, they have morals, they have things that they can live on. But the main thing is I've impacted people in a positive way, right? And at the end of the day, it's more than just money, right? This podcast, to me, being on this podcast and me having this platform and being able to talk to you guys and talk to your audience and help people with knowledge, that's more than money for me. This means more than someone saying, hey, man, here goes $1,000 or here goes $5,000. Because now, if one bit of this information that we talked about today helps someone be able to level up or change their mindset, then it's worth more than money. And I know that's probably why you guys do this as well, right? Sharing the knowledge and getting it out there to help people impact their mindset.
Man, it's so real, man. And you keep dropping nuggets, and it's like you're about to work up to say something, and I start smiling because I see where it's going. Because I feel where you're coming from, man, and it's so in alignment with how I present my stuff with my coaching, my training. Now, before we close out, I want to get a synopsis. I know it may be a long story, but you can make it a synopsis. How did you get to link up with Akon, and why did you desire to go into that partnership or that?
Yeah. So I want to give a big shout out to my friend and my partner Ajid Abdul Salam. So he's my good friend. He's the president of Nasr al-Ilm America, a nonprofit organization that bridges the gap between America and Senegal specifically. He does charity. He's been doing charity for the last 10 years. And I got with him in 2016. I met him in 2016. Like you said, we gave value to each other immediately. We had a bond immediately. And through his network and through his relationships, we created this partnership with Akon. And so he knows him. He's a friend of his. And through the work that we're doing in Senegal already, with the charity work that we're doing there, I don't know if you saw, but we fed 100 families when we were there. And I'm very big on philanthropy and being able to help people out here in America and specifically in Africa, just, being able to bring technology to these people. We're building a coding school there to where we're going to be able to help the youth there be able to eradicate poverty through technology. Because at the end of the day, if you learn technology and you learn high-level skill sets, then that's how you eradicate poverty, through learning skill sets to be able to take yourself out of those poverty situations. So Akon is already building a city in Senegal through my relationship with my partner and his relationship with Akon. We're locking arms between bringing people from the United States to work there as well. And then some other projects that we're bringing to the table with cryptocurrency. Akon is bringing his own cryptocurrency, his own digital currency to Africa, to where it helps with the inflation and it helps with the corruption and things of those natures. So we're really excited about this project. It's going to help the American people as well, African American community as well, have that bridge that they can have people that they can trust, look up to be able to help them go back there to Africa and really set up shop Business is amazing there. There's so many opportunities with real estate, so many opportunities with business, you know, restaurants, import, export is so amazing. And I'm just excited to be a part of it. But yeah, that's how I hooked up with my partner through his relationship, again, through networking and real relationships of value. You're bringing value to the table. And this partnership is going to be amazing. I'm excited. And I want you guys to be a part of it as well. I want to invite you guys. Here goes the official invite to come to Senegal.
You only got to say one word. I'm about to go pack my stuff right now.
Yeah. Here's the official invite. We're doing an event in February. It's called The Return. It's kind of like what Ghana did, in where they had the return of Americans coming to Ghana. We're going to have the return to Senegal in February 18th through 24th. I'll give you guys more information once it gets a little bit closer. But for all of you guys out there that want to come to Africa, get your passports ready. You need a passport for sure to get over there. And here goes the official invite. But yeah, man, that's how we hooked up with him, through my relationship with my business partner, Ajib Abdul Salam. And I'm excited. At the end of the day, I'm so excited. It has me getting up without that alarm clock.
Man, you got me, because, man, you're doing the dang thing, man. And to have that philanthropic bone, ain't enough of us got it. Mm-hmm. Not enough of us have that. And when you can get yourself to where you're altruistic enough and far enough away from being self-centered and just trying to get it, that's when you really get to where you can impact the world. You mentioned earlier people are, I think Dr. Sherelle Hobson mentioned, trying to become the millionaire. Mm-hmm. How about you be the million life impactor first? Mm-hmm. And then $1 million, they'll come get you. Mm-hmm. So I'm loving what you're doing, man. I know you just gave us the official announcement, but Dr. Sherelle, go ahead and get us closed out. Let's see what all else he got going on and where we can find him.
Yeah, so where can we find you? Let everybody know where they can find you. I know we put your Instagram on there, but if you have a website or something, and if you can let us know if there's any other events that we can support you in, you can. This is the time to let us know.
Yeah, you guys can follow me. The best place to follow me with all the announcements is at my Instagram at @TheVanTaylor1. And then you guys can request me on Facebook, Van Taylor. And that's where I put all my announcements. That's where I put all the upcoming things that's coming along. I'm very passionate about helping people. One of the things that I wanted to say is, again, thank you for giving me this platform. I'm really big on impact, and you guys are doing an amazing thing with this podcast. Keep it up. I'm blessed to be a part of this success that you guys have. And yeah, at the Van Taylor 1 on Instagram. And I really appreciate this platform, man. You guys are doing some dope stuff here, and I'm honored to be on your guys' show.
Well, we loved having you. We probably could do a whole nother show on the amount of knowledge that you have. So we definitely appreciate when we reached out to you, you were like, I'm all in. How can I help? So I just want to thank you, and we want to thank you for just being open and willing to be a part of the show. And just know that this show is just the beginning, and we will continue to build this relationship with you. So when we start hitting you up, telling you that we ready to rock and roll, just know that we are about our business, and we have a lot of great projects coming up that we want to share and run by you. And let's just continue to grow and prosper and share our gifts, because that's what all about, making those connections. That's why we have a lot of contact.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All right. So hang out in the backstage real quick for us. We're gonna wrap things up and then get ready to wrap things up with you.
All right. So y'all need to make sure that you go. If you didn't see the whole show, you need to make sure you sit down somewhere and go ahead and rewind it all the way back and get some of that knowledge that he was giving you, because it was a lot. And he's talking not just about money. He's talking about your life. He's talking about having wealth in your life. And so I'm just excited about what he's doing and all the things that God has blessed him with. And he's talking about purpose and his life, and he's still growing, guys. He hasn't got to the point where he said, okay, I'm good where I'm at. He's still investing in himself and other people. So Mr. Van Taylor was really rocking today, V.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I want everybody to just think about some of the words that you've heard from Van Taylor, from our previous guest, and ask yourself, have I heard Sherelle mention something like that before? Have I heard Brian mention? These individuals are solidifying why we do what we do. They
Mhm.
did it already. They did the things that we're doing right now, and now they're impacting worlds or lives across the world. So
Mhm.
step outside of being all about you, and go think about how many people you can impact, how many people you can help, how many people you can help get results in life. And
Yeah,
everything will come back to you. So,
absolutely. And next week we have Mr. Ray Shackleford. He'll be here and he's going to talk to us about what is our topic next week. Let me see. Let me see. He's talking about advocacy beyond the protest. So we're going to talk about some more stuff. So we're not talking now. We're talking about create your wealth and investing in yourself and being the best you. Now we're talking about applying those things outside of just what everybody else is doing, which may just be protesting and going beyond that. So
yeah.
I'm excited about next week. You can find us here every Thursday at 4 p.m. Central Time. Make sure you share this video so that other people get blessed and other people get knowledge. And again, Mr. Van Taylor, we loved having you on, and we'll continue to see more great things from him and making some more connections.
Yeah. All right. See you guys next week. You have a good one.